What's up, people?
Come on, it's your boy F17, aka Hoods Les Brown, aka I don't remember the
Yeah, we don't remember either.
Feel my hair with today.
It's your boy JK. Back again.
It's your boy Dan.
Always. And we're back, man. This is the L
Podcast.
Come on. First of all, big love to everyone supporting, man. Everyone listening and giving us good feedback.
Yeah, we're trying to push it. It helps that you guys listen and let us know what you think. And obviously, every episode we try to improve.
Yeah.
Give you something fresh,
For sure. So yeah, thank you if you've messaged us or if you've followed us, liked our post, whatever.
Yeah,
we appreciate it, man. We're just gonna keep growing. You know what I mean? And do the damn thing. So today, just want to have a nice little honest chat with the Mandem still. How have you been though, Mandem?
Ooh, how we been? Yeah, been alright.
Work is killing you guys.
Well, it's crazy busy though, man. Nah, but we're moving forward. We're staying positive.
Yeah, always. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
Came back from Napoli.
Yeah. Quickly tell us about your trip to
Yeah,
Naples.
trip was nice, man.
Yeah.
Listen, go to Naples. They made us feel like kings. Never spent so much money in tips. But no, it was very good.
Yeah.
And the food, as you guys know.
Yeah. That's the thing. When I go back to Italy, it's about the food, vibes, and weather.
Yeah.
Those are the three things.
Three things. But yeah, it's been a good week. Busy, but we move.
Nice. Cool, I've got a question for you, man. Still, obviously we're on this pod and we always encourage people to be the best version of themselves. And I was actually just in the shower the other day and I was just deep and I was just thinking it would be a good idea to ask the man them and even ask myself. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst that you've ever seen, 10 being the best that you have experienced, what version of yourself do you think you're operating at, currently?
Good question. James, you want to go first? Want me to shoot?
You can shoot, I think.
Thinking honestly, I'd say maybe like a 5 or 6. Just because I feel like I'm in kind of like cruise control. Kind of just like cruising through life, not trying to take too many risks at this stage, trying to just kind of stay afloat. I know there's so much more I'm capable of doing at this stage, but I just know that for now, if I just feel like I'm cruising, let me just see how I feel, and then if I feel like I'm in that position to then take those risks to try better myself significantly, then that's what I'll do. So I say right now, I'm probably like a 5 or 6.
So what are you waiting for?
Good question. I always ask myself, what am I waiting for? Because obviously one of the things about this podcast, we tell people to try to be their best selves, and obviously if we're not trying to ourselves be our best, then kind of what's the point of doing it?
It's always easy to give advice. It's hard to take it.
Yeah. So in all truth, there's nothing really stopping me from wanting to do. I can make a excuse. I could say, I could say work, or I could say exams, or I could say time. Those are just all excuses. If I'm being honest, those are just all excuses. There's things that I could be doing on the side, even when I've got to spare half an hour or spare an hour to be better in myself.
Sure.
So it's just me trying to actually kind of motivate myself to actually start doing that consistently. And that's something I've got to change about myself, and that's something I've deeped recently. That's
interesting. So you see, you said to talk about side things. Do you already have an idea of what you want to do on the side, or what you
so I remember this must have been a couple weekends ago. I was just on my laptop just jotting down things side hustles that I'll be interested in actually pursuing. So obviously one was a podcast, and obviously we started doing one, so I can kind of maybe tick that one off, which is good. The second thing was kind of more to do with sport, because obviously I love sport, right? I love football, I love basketball. So one of the things I jotted down was almost a fantasy league, create one from scratch. Obviously there's so many out there. Obviously there's the Premier League ones, NBA ones. But it's just something like that of my own that I could create from scratch.
That's
cool. That sounds something that I could be interested in. But again, it's just always that doubt of, it's going to take time, it's going to take resources, it's going to take money. And that's always something that's always going to be a hindrance potentially for me, just because I always think, it's effort.
Not worth it.
Yeah, it's the amount of effort you might have to put in to get the output from it. At the end of the day, will it be worth it? I mean,
there's only one way to find out.
And also, I don't think that there's even anything to find out. I think as I'm getting older, I'm getting more fascinated with human psychology. And it's you've just said, this is something that you would enjoy.
Yeah.
So this is something that you enjoy. So it's it's gonna be worth it regardless because you enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? But it's like we stop ourselves from doing things we want to do, and we don't really know why.
We don't know why. Yeah.
And it's I don't get it. Like it's fascinating because so for example, like the class yesterday, Thursday. Yes, yesterday I did a public speaking class. So just for people that don't know, on Wednesdays I run these public speaking taster classes. Where what it is that it's a taster class for a full course. Right, so you come in, you did a taster. If you like the taster, then you apply for the full course.
Yeah.
Boom. So I've done a presentation, calm. And how I explain it to people is, if you want to get better at public speaking, this course is good for you because it's like getting a driving license. So it's like, it's a one-time payment, right? So you pay it, like the course is 4 weeks.
Okay, it's just one-time payment. Oh.
You pay it, like you can pay it off in installments, but in the sense that it's not an ongoing payment like for the rest of your life, like a subscription. It's like a driving license. You do it. And again, like driving, once you do the courses, we're not saying you're going to be the best speaker in the world, but we're saying you're going to be good enough to go and learn by yourself.
Yeah.
Cool. So if this is a priority in your life, like make the sacrifice, do the course, and you'll be better. Bro, yesterday, like there was 4 women that like they were so torn, like between. They were like, I really want to get better at speaking.
But
I know I want to address this, but I'm scared. Like I'm scared. Something's stopping me. I'm like, what's stopping you? I don't know. One woman came to the laptop to sign up and she's just walking around this place and she's like, I don't know. And I was just looking at her, I'm like, this is mad seeing this woman have an internal battle. She's like, I want to do it, but I'm scared, like, I don't want to do it.
You know what? It's like me, I need to go to the gym.
What?
you know what I think might be the one thing potentially, I mean, I think we might have talked about this in a previous episode, is that fear of failure. They might think to themselves, okay, I might sign up for this course, but either one, I might not get out of it or I want to, or two, I might not do well enough in the course to think that I actually succeeded in this course. And relating back to kind of the ideas that I've been having, I always think, okay, if I potentially start this idea, how far am I actually going to get to this idea before I potentially end up failing? And again, failure shouldn't be viewed as a bad thing, it should be viewed as a good thing, because until you succeed, you're going to fail, like it's going to happen.
I think with the course is a bit different as well, because if I'm not wrong, you said that if they feel like it didn't work out or whatever, they get the money back anyway.
Brother,
is it?
it's
So I
a
don't
win-win
really
situation.
understand,
Literally,
okay.
because I'm saying to them, like, after these 4 weeks here, you're gonna master. These are very anxious people.
Yeah.
I'm saying you're gonna master your anxiety. Like, you're gonna understand things about yourself. You're gonna go and speak to people and not feel like you're being judged. And if you don't, you get your money back.
Okay.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's interesting, the failure thing, like, I don't really. What I said to them yesterday, which is really interesting, is that so when I go into schools and I get them to do star jumps, you go to schools and talk. From year 1 to year 5, the kids are doing star jumps and excited. From year 6, you start to see that they start to be a bit conscious.
They're too cool for it.
And they start looking around and being a bit embarrassed, like, oh, this is embarrassing, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I told them, that year 6 kid, I see that year 6 kid in adults that struggle with public speaking. And it's the same thought process of, this is embarrassing, are people looking at me, like, and it's a behaviour they've learned over the years, but they just haven't unlearned.
Yeah, because obviously when you talk about the kind of year 1s to year 5s, they're uninhibited, like they have no concept of embarrassment or failure. They just want to live their best lives. Literally. But then you get to a certain age, I don't know if it's, I don't know, maybe like year 6 or just 12 or teenagers, where you start to think consciously about, okay, how am I going to be viewed by other people? Like, what am I going to be looking like to other people?
100%. It's crazy because then that, maybe in year 6 you had a traumatic experience where someone laughed at you, and people hold that until they're grown adults. And it cripples them from moving on to like get better.
And it's hard, isn't it, when if you feel like people are laughing at you, if you try something different, you know, and you look around and you feel like people are watching, they're probably not even watching, you know.
That's what it
it's
is.
all in your mind, and then obviously stops you from trying the things that you want, and then as you said, as you grow older, you might not think it's there, but it's always in the back of your head.
Strange, man.
You know? And I think it's even like maybe going to uni, for example, and you want to be like, you try and make friends and you try not to say the wrong things. And like, even going into a new job, I guess, like you try to talk to people and see like if you can find something in common, but it can be scary. Sometimes you don't do it and people take it as, oh, this guy's really close. But it's like, I don't really want to not be liked. But why do we have to be liked, you know? And how do you know that you're not going to be like? It's all in.
It's strange,
your head, isn't it?
I read in a book that one of the biggest like wants, human wants, is the feeling of importance.
Yeah. You gotta feel like you're significant in something.
Yeah, and that's why we kind of do what we do. Like, the reason I started athletics is because I was good at it as a kid, and it made me feel important. And I was like, okay, this is something I want to pursue. So I guess that kind of explains some of it. But yeah, it's just interesting how like we hinder ourselves from like.
As a kid though, innit? I feel like, well, can't speak for everyone anyways, but as a kid, yeah, you want to be the cool kid, you know, you want to be liked by people and feeling important. As you grow older,
I think that just gets tired.
It's less
important.
Less well, again, I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah, I know.
If I think about myself when I was a kid, I did want to be cool. Like I did want people to like me. I remember like in Italy they write like reports, like end of the year reports, and it was like, oh, James wants to be centre of attention. I probably did at the time, but as I've grown older, honestly, like that's the last thing.
I was going to ask you, James. Do you know, like you might not remember? Do you know when that kind of mindset switched from you kind of wanting to be liked by people to just not really caring how you're viewed by people?
I don't know. You know what? Honestly, I don't even know if it was a thing where I wanted to be liked. I just liked the attention.
Yeah.
You know, like whether you like me or not, I couldn't really care. I wanted people to know who James was.
James was.
Does that make sense? So it was like in class, I always played like the fool in a sense, making people laugh and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I moved to England and I was completely different. In Italy, I was loud, right? I was loud and I was like, yeah, look at me kind of thing. Moved to England, completely different. I was shy. I didn't speak the language anyway.
Yeah, so that might be the reason.
Fear of not being liked, innit? So I was shy. I just did my homework in Italy. I don't remember ever doing homework. And that's the main thing that changed. And then I guess I learned the language and I still wasn't really centre of attention anymore. But I think my personality, I'm always quite joking and stuff, and I like to make people laugh. Obviously, when I mastered the language a little bit better, then that came out a little bit more, but it wasn't really like the same as Italy. And then I went to uni and I was really minding my business in a sense.
Why?
I don't know, because it was like, everyone's like, oh, you go to uni, make the best friends of your life, and I felt like I already have my friends. I'm not really here to make friends. I went to uni, I've made very good relationships.
That's interesting, actually.
I built good friendships, but it was never my intention to go uni and build friendships. I think I was like to you when I went to uni, I was like, I'm just going to come here, get my degree and go.
Yeah, it's true, but I'm trying to figure out why we were like that.
I don't know.
See, me personally, I mean, like I said, I wasn't going to uni to make friends, but one of the things I was looking forward to most about uni is just meeting new people, because in general, people that know me, I like meeting new people, and then once I find something like I connect with people, then I'm just like, cool, I can talk to you all day. Like, that's one thing I was looking forward to most about uni.
I think, you know what it is? I think in my head, it was like, I've met so many people moving to England that I was like, I can't really be friends with you. We're so different, right? I've got like, I don't know, more than 4 good friends, but like, if I can count, it's like 5 or in my life, right? Most of them are like, few of them are from Italy. And then very few people that I've met in the UK, I can say that I'm very close with, right? And it's just a thing where I've always felt like we're just on different wavelengths, you know?
I think that's what it is with us. Having lived the Italian experience, like childhood in Italy and maybe kind of adolescence in the UK, we've seen both sides, and it's 2 completely different cultures. And I feel like for us in it, we didn't gel fully with the UK culture. And that closed us off a little bit.
Which is not a good thing, by the way. It actually isn't. Like, I think uni was a good place to network and stuff, and I kind of stopped myself from doing that in a way. Lucky enough, I still met people, and lucky enough to make very good friendships and like people that I've learned from and I've taken away loads of things from. But I did stop myself a lot. Like, I went to uni and I didn't really speak to people too much. I wouldn't approach people. Not because I'm shy, because I can't talk to people. I just didn't really want to, and I really felt like I needed to. Right? And uni, as you said, is a good place to meet people, and you know, you learn things from pretty much everyone you come across with. You know? And I think in my mind, I'm very quiet in situations like that, but I'm listening, right? And I pick up things, and then when I listen to some conversations, I'm like, I'm not gonna fit. So let me just mind my business.
Take a step back.
So speaking of uni, with the same question, so let's bring it back to uni. When you were at uni, what level do you think you were operating at
Good
from
question.
0 to 10?
At uni, I was operating at a 1
Okay.
Right.
or a 2.
Yeah.
I never wanted to go uni,
Yeah.
right? I'm not gonna say forced because I guess no one can really force you to do anything. But I was very influenced to go to uni by my parents, right? And I think my life, I've always lived with this sense of making sure that I make my parents proud because of everything they've sacrificed for me, which they have, right? So I think for a long time in my life, maybe a 1 is exaggerated because not a 1, but I'll rate it very low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like uni was literally like ticking a box.
Yeah.
You know, I went to uni, got my degree, my parents are happy.
Mm.
But then finished uni, and I feel like it's ticking another box.
Ticking another box, yeah.
I finished uni, I need to make sure I get a job. My parents are happy.
Got the job, ticked off.
Got the job, tick another box.
Yeah.
The conversation in my house is now, oh, when are you getting your masters? So that you can just get it over and done with.
Honestly, yeah, like there comes a time where like there is only so much of that you can do.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
and I've something that I've seen and I've had to do myself, where like there is only so much of like parent pleasing that you can do until you start self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
I think so. It's like my advice to anyone, because I've been, me too. I went to uni more so to tick a box, and it's like for me that was kind of like the final box where I was like, okay, like I've done this, like it's kind. Let me now kind of think of me, and it, like I've seen it happen too many times, and like I mean it's happening now where like years will just go by and we do things to please our parents, because we don't want to disappoint them. And then we just end up living an unauthentic life. But then
the life that
they wanted to live. But if we really deep it though, our parents, they're gonna be proud of us regardless.
I was literally just gonna say that. I don't think I've done anything specifically to make my parents proud, because I know deep down, no matter really what I do, they're always gonna be proud of me.
Proud of us. Like, and we actually need to deep it. Like, if you're listening to this as well, like you need to deep whatever you're gonna go into. Just as long as you have a plan. So my thing, because obviously what I'm doing is super unorthodox, and I haven't actually got a job, and I cannot have a plan.
Oh no, you do have a job. Let's get that clear. You do have a job. Your job is empowering others.
Yeah, that's
your job.
Yeah, that's a very good
because it's not like a traditional, I don't know, 9 to 5 whatever.
Job. No,
that's
you're right.
your job.
You're right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm also like present the plan to my parents, which sometimes they understand, sometimes they don't. But it's like at least I have a plan, and I kind of just try and execute what I try and execute, and it. Yeah, it's helped me. It's helped me like kind of come to that realization that there's only so much we can do in terms of like pleasing our parents.
Yeah.
But anyway, so at uni you'd say you're up in at a really low level, and then now you say it's higher than uni.
You're debating, aren't you? Well, if it was at 1,
Is it higher than uni now?
It's probably higher than uni, yeah, I guess.
That's a good thing.
I'm still. I wouldn't say I'm living a life to please my parents in a sense. I think I'm in a bit of a weird situation where it's like I don't really know what I want, so I'm in cruise control a bit. Like I know what every day is for me. You know? Like Monday, Tuesday, I know
what it looks like. Yeah.
There's no difference. And some days I sit down and I think like, what do I want to do? And then there's like doubt in everything that comes to mind. Like I want to go traveling, right? I just want to pick up and go. And then I think there's so many things that I have to do
like what?
before I can go. Like not have to do, but like I've got payments that I need to make for things and like other things, like general things, innit? And it's like, how long can I let these things stop me from
doing what you actually want?
And then sometimes I wake up and it's like, do I actually want to go traveling? Or is it just, I need a break from work? You know what I mean? So it's like, all of these thoughts and it's all together and it's like just confusion in the brain.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't want to go uni, but I've learned a lot from uni. I graduated, I got a job out of it. So it's like, things kind of fell into place in a sense, I guess, you know. And I've never really been afraid to try new things. Like I think we said in the past, I never really knew finance was going to be my thing. And if something else came, I wouldn't really not try it. So my life is always kind of worked out for itself in a way. But at the same time, I think it's time to kind of make a decision. But then at the same time, it's like I don't really know what, you know. And back in the days, when I was younger, it was always like football. You know, there was nothing else.
Yeah.
Like school was so, you know, couldn't care. You know, and you know, I played football every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, played football every day. Football was everything I knew.
Football was life.
Yeah, literally. Then moved to the UK, and it was like I went through a weird stage where I was very unhappy because I didn't really want to be here. Right.
Yeah.
I think the only person I had was Fred, and I stopped playing, and I got very fat. Well, I didn't get fat because if you saw me, you wouldn't say I was fat.
Yeah.
I lost. Yeah, I put on weight, and I lost all sense of fitness. That I feel like till this day I haven't really
got back.
Yeah. And then I started playing again, but I was more for fun, and you know, and then there's always the question like that: what if? So now it's like, I guess trying to figure out what. I still love football, but I don't want to say it's unrealistic. But my situation at the moment, I can't. You know.
Yeah, man. It's interesting because with that, like, even what I was saying to James recently was that, like, for example, within the football world, like, you can be within football but not be a footballer.
Yeah.
So, like, if you love football, like you or like anyone listening, like, if you love football and maybe being a footballer is not looking like likely, you can still like make a living within the game. I don't know much about the business, but there is so many things you can do. Like, if that's something that you wanted to do, but like, that's something people should realize as well. Like,
and it's one of those things, right? Like, especially now, because I wasn't really involved in like. I was talking to like Fred in the past, and I was like, oh, you could be a coach on wherever. Obviously at the moment you'd have to get your coaching
badges and all that stuff.
I wasn't really. I knew people that were involved from like early, and now I've got the badges and stuff. And it's like, if I was to do that, I'd have to sacrifice what I'm doing now in a sense, right?
Yeah,
and even financially, I'll have to sacrifice what I'm getting to what I could be getting. And
that trade-off.
Yeah, the trade-off. And it's like, I'm thinking financially, can I afford to do that at the moment? But then I think I'm trading off getting whatever salary I'm getting now to potentially being happier and living a life that I'd enjoy more, right?
Yeah, and that trade-off is kind of what we were talking about earlier, because you asked me like what's kind of stopping me from wanting to try to pursue that kind of fantasy league idea.
Yeah.
And again, it's that trade-off of what I'm earning now to potentially what I could be earning as a result of what I really want to do. And to me, if the risk is not necessarily always worth the reward, that's just going to be like,
but the thing with me, the issue I have with that is that when you talk about risk and reward, we're just talking about finances and about money.
Yeah,
and life is not all about finances and money.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're talking about the risk and reward, but like, number one, maybe financially will help you. Financially might be an L, but like, success isn't just finance.
No, that's true.
Do you get it? So that's when like, we have to just start deep in that, like, okay, I need to, like 100% money is super important. I need to financially sort myself out, especially at this age. We want to plan for our future, but then we also now need to look at that other lens, like happiness, inner peace, like true self. Like, am I, on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I on that? And how can I increase that? And if you have to increase that but decrease the finances, like, you just have to do it in a smart way.
Yeah, that's true. And I've always said, I think I said this to you, James, I've always said, if I ended up earning like a little bit less money than what I'm earning now, but enjoy infinitely more what I'm doing, I'm willing to make that trade-off. I have no issue with that.
I think you'd be living a better life.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just about finding that balance. But it's interesting because I guess you two are in different places where you're still kind of trying to find yourself in that way. Whereas I guess with you have like that list on your laptop. You're still trying to find yourself, but it's more so like the fear of like, I don't know, like, reducing I haven't got that much time right now, I'll have to reduce my income, stuff like that.
And also potentially what stopped me, and this is I'm going to admit this straight up, this is a terrible thing, like, it's not a good enough reason to stop me.
Being honest.
It's knowing where to start things, because one thing with me is like, when I start like a project, the hardest thing is knowing what to do, when to start. Once I have a plan and I can figure it out, boom, I'm on it, like, that's not an issue, but just knowing where to start is always tricky for me, and I know it easily. I could just go on YouTube and start Googling stuff, and I'll find so much information out there, like
100%. And it's so good you say that, because I think thousands and thousands of people, and I used to be like that, but honestly, you're just better off starting. You're better off starting and winging it and learning as you go than planning and waiting for the right time, because at the beginning, if you're starting something you've never done before, you can plan as much as you want, you're still going to be winging it to a certain extent.
Of course.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So like, the track club that I do, like, the first few classes I was doing, I was winging. Like I'm just winging it.
Yeah.
Like I was planning the session, but I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if the kid can even do the exercises I'm trying to ask them to do. Like, and then as I'm going along, I'm learning and I'm kind of just going along with it. But
Yeah.
Like a lot of people kind of get into that situation where it's like, I really wanna, boom, like start off really well and start off with a bang. And but it's all about just like with this pod, we didn't over plan it.
No.
We just started it.
Yeah, we never really over planned conversations.
We don't.
I had a conversation with someone, yeah, and they were like, "Oh, so what do you guys do? Like, do you sit down and plan what you're gonna say?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, no, because then it feels a bit scripted."
It's inauthentic, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the point in doing that?
It's
And they're
true.
like, "Well, that would be a bit better because you'd have structure." I don't really want structure.
Structure's overrated, man.
Structure is so overrated.
I just want honesty in a way.
Yeah.
Just what comes out, just say it really.
Yeah.
Because then I'm stopping myself from saying so many things. 'Cause
Yeah.
100%.
It's just unfiltered, people.
Yeah,
Unfiltered.
and the whole point is that we remove that mask. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a performance. This is not a performance. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, it's interesting. Well, it's so funny. So one interesting thing about speaking about fear, someone had a good acronym for fear. Flipping out. I was about to search. It was something like, okay, so fake something appearing real.
Okay, I'm trying to think what the E would be.
Yeah,
I can't even guess it.
false information. No, that's I.
That's I.
False evidence appearing real, or something like that.
Right.
But I guess the whole point of what we're trying to say is that in fear, what we're building up in our head is the worst case scenario, and more time, that's not even what's gonna happen.
I'm trying to think like if I'm scared of like. I think in life I've always done things that I was scared of, and then realised that this thing that you were scared of
it's not that
is
crazy.
not that mad. So I don't think I'm necessarily scared of change. I think, as we said, it's just like figuring out what it is. And I don't really want to spend another 3 years like trying different things to see whether or not I like them.
Why not?
Right, I was literally going to ask, why not?
Because that's what I've done all my life.
And is there anything wrong
So
with that?
no, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like I try them and then I stick at it for a bit, and then it's like nah. Not in the sense that I don't know how to put it, but it's like I spend my life living like just trying things in it, and if it works, and then change. But I want to figure out what I want to do so I can put my time
So
into
I
it.
think the difference is that so far you've just done things that have come and it's kind of worked.
Yeah.
Whereas the difference is that if you're going to be intentional about, okay, this is the stuff that I like doing.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
the
So
stuff
that's what I
intentional.
want.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend
to just
like,
do things.
to just
yeah,
do
yeah,
things
yeah,
for the
yeah,
sake of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
innit?
yeah. I think just be intentional about like what you like, what you're good at, like you know, working with young kids, like teenagers, like young adults. That's your bag. You know, you can speak to people, you can engage an audience. You've got experience in football, like, and it's just about connecting the dots, kind of. I think that's kind of what it is. But we have to try.
Yeah, of course.
Do you get? Because else, life will just take us whatever. So we have to like be like, okay, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
You know, rather than like, okay, this has come to me, so let me just go for it.
See where it happens.
Yeah.
I think. So yeah, if I was to answer it, so now, I think a decent level now, like, I'd say
Like an A, maybe?
an A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say an A.
Pretty high.
Yeah, I'd say an A, and I would say that I'm mostly happy with the way I'm operating. The only thing now is I want more structure. So like, it's been a thing where I've had a lot of opportunities come to me. I've said yes, and then now it's like I actually have to deliver on all these things that I've.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then some like, you know, like sometimes I double book by accident, and then I have to.
Okay.
So it's that kind of thing, and I kind of want it structured where like, okay, I know Friday, like, you know, Tuesdays, Thursdays I do primary schools, Wednesdays, Fridays I do secondary schools, and I kind of have a bit more structure. The nature of the beast is that there's always going to be a bit of a discrepancies with that, whatever. But I just want that little bit more structure where I just, you know, at the moment every day is a jungle. And I'm just in a forest. But I'm enjoying it and it's good.
Yeah.
So once you get that structure, do you think you'll be hitting towards potentially a 9 or a 10, or is there still something else potentially more you could do?
Very, very good question. At the
I
moment.
think you'll have more time to think about what's next, in a sense. Because so busy, right? So it's like Monday you work, obviously you have your half an hour day when you're thinking, oh, but it's like Monday, then you go sleep, and Tuesday go sleep, Wednesday, and there's no time, right? Obviously you're maximizing your time, you're doing everything you can, but there's no time to think about, okay, where do you go from here?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so potentially that, but also I feel like because I'm at the foundation beginning stage of my things where like I'm not thinking about the future too tough like that, but because I'm just want to build up my name, build up my credibility, build up my skill set. But yeah, I guess it will be that eventually, like I just want to, for example, like my track club, I want to have like coaches deliver my sessions, and like I want to get my track club embedded into schools. So like where like it's an after school club. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
So those are like my kind of next step within my track club. Within speaking, like I just want to continue what I'm doing. My big goal is to like do like a big event in like a stadium. This is like my kind of, but it won't be just be a speaking event. It'll be like an experience where there'll be like musicians, comedy, some speakers.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the F17 experience. Or something
That's
crazy.
that's got a nice ring to it, you know.
Sell out South Park or something.
I was gonna ask you
Selfsabotaging.
one thing that me and my family. One thing that me and my family do, I don't think we did it this year, but like every year we set ourselves goals. And I was going to ask you, like, so that goal of yours, like speaking in a stadium, do you have like a list of those kind of near-term goals-ish and then the more kind of like longer-term ones? Or is it more like just on the fly, you kind of think of them and then,
No, I started writing goals. And it's a powerful thing writing goals, man, because so for 2022, my goals were starting a pod.
Oh, tick.
Presenting at sixth form, which I had done it. Tick. Presenting at secondary school. Tick. Start coaching public speaking. Tick.
It's only March, man. What's going on?
Like most of the things that I wanted to do this year, I have done already.
That's crazy.
But now it's just about building on them and just going crazy. But it was literally like, I don't know, there's this weird thing where like if you write stuff down and you like, but I guess the tricky part is like, you know, finding yourself and knowing what you want. But once you kind of know it, that's the hard bit, I think. The easy bit is like, if you know what you want, for me, my kind of thing has been like, I know what I want, and then like, I just find people that have already been to where I've been. So like now I've surrounded myself with like speakers that have been speaking for 15 years, and they're just giving me the tips. Do you know what I'm saying? Or like, now I've got my track club, and then there's this guy who's a speaker, he's had a football club, still with James about it, for like 15 years, and he successfully runs his football club. He's got 400 kids that paying him like £100 every 3 months. And he's even got people on the waiting list. Like he's gone crazy. Like, you know, he's an entrepreneur. He said he's living real life monopoly. He's just buying houses in Scotland and selling them. He's just doing the madness. So, but putting myself around these people has just helped me. Because like now, for example, embedding my track club into a school, I'm already negotiating with a school in Chiswick, and it's like this is something I would have never been able to do if I didn't have these kind of connections. But for me, it was easier doing this because I knew, okay, this is where I want to get, and then these are people that are already there, kind of thing.
Because I think for me, one thing also potentially that might be stopping me is that part that you talk about connections. Like I kind of have some ideas of some things I want to do, but because I don't feel like I really know anyone remotely that has done something similar, I'm like, I can't really engage with them and get advice and just get some tips.
You can be that person that people come for.
That's true.
And that was me, bro. Because in speaking, bro, I didn't know. I used to Google. Bare people tell me like, how do I get into schools? How do I get to speak? Because I used to Google how to be a public speaker. And it just gives you a very immediate answer. And then I just tried. And in trying to be a public speaker, I just attracted that energy and other people. And I just, do you get it? Because there's this saying from my guy Les Brown. It's like, so for example, he said, when you go for a walk in the park with someone, something happens without anyone saying anything. You adjust. Someone adjusts to someone's pace. Right? So it's kind of like, I either adjust to your pace, you adjust to my pace. No one says anything. And it's kind of like, he says, in life, whose pace are you adjusting to? Are you adjusting to people who are slowing you down?
Or people that are speaking.
Or do you get it? Or are you going at your own pace? So it's one of them ones where if you're going at your own pace, you're going to leave some people behind. So with me going at my own public speaking pace, I've eventually encountered people that are going at my pace.
The same pace as you.
Initially they were over there, but then me going at my pace, I eventually encountered them and now we're going together as a head. So if you're trying to get into something and you don't know anyone or anything about it,
start walking.
Start on that journey. Start walking down that street, man. Do you get it? And then eventually, as you're on that road, you're bound to encounter people that are doing that kind of stuff, bro.
And to be honest, one thing I've said to myself this year is I'm going to start truly thinking more about what I truly actually want to do. Because I had ideas like kind of last year, but I didn't really pay attention to them. But then this year, I don't know, something just switched in my mindset. Just like, okay, I don't want to be. Realistically, if I had an ideal world, right, I wouldn't really be doing a 9 to 5. That's just ideal. Like, if I could, but obviously that's the nature of the beast. Like, you know, that's the normality, and you got to accept that. But obviously, there's things that like for example, like I said, sport. I love sport so much. I feel like I could talk about sport all day with anyone. But finding a way to kind of put that into something like sustainable and sufficient, it's just something that I've got to start figuring out.
Start another podcast.
Sport podcast. Honestly, and like even like sports journalism, like people do that, bro. Do you get it? Like, I don't know anything about it, but like if you just start looking into it, and then maybe there's like an event in London, just go, just speak to people, tell them what your aspirations are, and then just slowly just create that world around you. Bro, like it's super viable, but it's good that you're saying that you're be able to be intentional about thinking, what do I want to do? Something else I was saying to James is that as humans, we always spend time by ourselves, but we don't spend time with ourselves. Do you get it? So we're by ourselves, but like even just on a walk, we're like listening to stuff. Let me stop swearing. Or we'll be like on the bus, we're listening to stuff. In the shower, we're listening to stuff. But we don't spend time to just listen to ourselves.
Reflect.
To be like, what do I want? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you just let your mind do its thing. And it's not gonna come overnight, innit? But just keep letting your mind do its thing, and you're just gonna. A thought is just gonna keep coming, and you're like, why do I keep thinking about this? Like.
And then when you reflect on things that you're actually good at. For example, this whole sports thing, I feel like, okay, I can talk about sports for a while. I'm good with numbers. I feel like I'm good enough with people. So if I could find a way to combine all those three into something, that's what I will be able to do. And again, that's just a case of me kind of reflecting and
just
what
thinking,
that will be.
How can I do that?
Let
me try this. This didn't stick.
No,
let me try a bit of that.
Something else.
Ooh, that kind of works.
You've got to throw something on the wall to see if it stick or not.
Well, the question is, what do you want to do?
That's it, you know. I think we have to round up
yourself.
What
would you rate yourself at the moment?
Boom, that's how we're going to leave it. What, from a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best, what version of yourself, on what scale are you operating at the moment?
Let us know.
And what could you change to increase that number? We've got to deep that as well.
Honestly, that's a good one to leave.
Let us know. Thank you for tuning.
Listen, it's been the L
Podcast.
It's your boy S17, aka Lucas Brown.
Your boy JK.
It's your boy Dan.
And listen, see you next time.
Peace.
Bye-bye.